ドジャースとメッツの NLCS ナショナルリーグチャンピオンシップステージはメッツが7対3でドジャースに圧勝しました。惜敗でも新勝でもなく、今日の試合内容は誰がどう見ても圧勝と言わざるを得ないでしょう。大谷翔平選手も2つフォアボールで出塁したものの3打数ノーヒット、1番から5番打者までが全員ノーヒットに抑えられ、攻撃面は全くと言っていいほど機能していませんでした。マックス・マンシー選手がホームランを放ち、トミー・エドマン選手も3安打と気を吐きましたが、 MVP トリオ、クラッチヒッターのテオスカー・ヘルナンデス選手、ポストシーズン男のキケ・ヘルナンデス選手も今日は活躍することができませんでした。ブルペンデーと銘打って始まった試合でしたが、2回のナック投手の5失点が試合を決定づけてしまいましたね。ナック投手や采配について今日はロバーツ監督批判が凄まじかったです。しかしポジティブな材料もあるようなので、今日はその番組を翻訳してお届けいたします。このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーに関する現地放送局の様子を翻訳してお届けしております。お見逃しのないよう今のうちにチャンネル登録をお願いいたします。
Hello, welcome to Access Sportsnet Dodgers. John Hartung alongside Jerry Hairston Jr., Nomar Garcia-Parra. The Dodgers dropped Game 2 of this National League Championship Series to the Mets. Tried to go with another bullpen game, which worked so beautifully for them in Game 4 of that division series against the Padres. Really saved their season, but it was the complete opposite today. It was a disastrous start to this game. They gave up 1 run in the first, 5 more in the second inning. And the Dodgers offense tried to chip away, but it's hard to win games, Jerry, when the top 5 guys in your lineup go 0 for 19.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't ideal, obviously, with the offense kind of sputtering to start, and obviously they jumping on us right away. 1 in the first and 5 spot. That really hurt us. But hey, credit the Mets. They came in, especially after the beating they had last night. They found a way to score runs early, and that was enough. And make no mistake, Dodgers did have their chances, but this is going to be a pretty good series.
Yeah, you mentioned about the bullpen, and they knew there was going to be a bullpen game, but it was just a little bit different, I think, about as far as the guys they went to, you know, right after the first inning. No surprise, Brazier starting the game. He's done it before when you're looking at a bullpen game. Excellent job. But then what we've seen, even though after giving up just that 1 run, it was good. Okay, 1 run, games, a lot of game left, that they ended up going to the long guy right away and Landon Knack, where the last game they were talking about, we're going to see how the game plays out, maybe some more higher leverage guys, try to see who has control of this game before you go to someone like that. And really that second inning, I think really just changed the whole dynamic of the game. Unfortunately, Landon Knack just didn't have it today. You know, he didn't have a really good feel of his pitches, his curveballs, like kind of bull germ. Fastballs high, curveballs hanging, and they took advantage of that. But on the flip side, I also think from the Mets side, Manaea had a really good pitching performance against the Dodgers. They really had trouble getting things going, even when they had opportunities. I mean, they did have 9 at-bats with runners in scoring position, but they couldn't really find that big hit, though, too, that could possibly change the momentum. They definitely but didn't have that one that we were really looking for. We were like, there's that big one, maybe hitting a double play, hit the ball sharply, but couldn't find it.
Dodgers pitching staff coming off 3 consecutive shutout wins, 33 consecutive scoreless innings. We knew the streak was going to end at least at some point, Nomar, and it did early. First hitter of the game, first batter of the game, Francisco Lindor takes Ryan Brazier deep. And then, of course, we talked about Landon Knack really struggled with location and pitch execution in that second inning.
Well, we talked about Lindor, you know, having a tremendous season for the Mets. He's a big reason why the Mets are in the postseason. And he had a really good at-bat. He was battling against Brazier. It wasn't like it was just an ambush right now. He was battling. Then he gets a pitch he can finally handle, and then he ends up hitting that home run and put him on the board. But at the same time, Brazier limited damage right there, kept it at 1, then you hand it over to the rest of the guys in the bullpen. And really, it was all about the second inning. They really took advantage of some of the poor execution by Landon Knack. Balls over the middle of the plate, some breaking balls that were just hanging. That grand slam right there was just a huge blow, and I think really put it away, and it was an uphill battle for the Dodgers after that.
Yeah, you see the pitches middle of the zone, and they took advantage of it. Again, this Mets team, it's a very good team. Keep in mind, we said it before the series started, this Mets team beat a really good Brewers team. Okay, really good Brewers team to advance. Then they knock out the Phillies, who a lot of people predicted to represent the National League in the World Series. So this team is firing on all cylinders. They believe in each other. Once again, you got to go out and beat this team because they're playing really good baseball right now.
And we talked on the pregame show about the Dodgers having a lot of success over the years against Sean Manaea. His ERA lifetime against the Dodgers over 7, just 1-5. But we also talked about, Jerry, he's a much different pitcher than the one they've ever seen. Drops down that arm angle as well. He's using different pitches in his repertoire, and boy, he was effective all day.
He was effective. This is a completely different guy. The guy that we faced when he was in Oakland, the guy we faced when he was in San Diego, he was more over the top 3/4. Now he's trying to imitate the Chris Sale delivery, and boy, is it working for him. That fastball is playing up. You see it 92 to 94, probably to the hitter. 95-97 because he hides it so well. Hey, tip your cap, man. He went out and changed some things, and he's really pitched well for them.
Yeah, really extremely effective. You know, when you look at that delivery, it's really difficult on lefties. And then when it comes to a right-hander, you're really trying to see, okay, how do I have to attack when a guy is throwing from that type of angle? Feels like it's going to second base. A lot of times we used to talk about if it's coming from second, you hit it back to second when you're the right-hander. For a lefty, really difficult because you got to stay in there because it feels like it's starting from behind you. Makes the adjustment, comes out there. We talked about it. He also is coming in with a different mindset, especially after being so successful against the Phillies in his last outing. He continued that momentum, and you know what? He did an excellent job stifling this Dodger offense.
It was 6-1 going to the bottom of the sixth inning, and the Dodgers had a huge opportunity to get back-to-back walks to start the inning, Jerry, and then the error on the second baseman, Iglesias, giving the Dodgers this golden opportunity, and they would leave the bases loaded in this inning.
Yeah, this is a tough error. This took a really nasty hop on Iglesias off the mound. This ball's hit hard. You got bases loaded, nobody out. Iglesias is as good as sure-handed guy there is in the big leagues. Here, two-strike approach. Edman does a great job putting the ball in play. Two-run signal. Now we got runners on first and third. And now I thought this is the moment here. We got to capitalize it. You see it, little seeing eye signal, but you put the ball in play. And Kike Hernandez hits it hard to third base, and they were able to get out of the inning with an inning-ending double play.
Yeah, that was a tough one. You know, that double play, and, you know, the at-bat during Kike, that first pitch, he was all over. He was ready, and he just pulled it foul. I mean, that could have been a double down the line, clearing the bases. Unfortunately, it goes foul. He battled, hits that ball. After you get two strikes, he had the right approach because he was looking up. This is one of those at-bats where you're thinking, okay, if there's a way you're trying to get a ball up in the zone to at least maybe get it in the air, maybe a sac fly, but at the very least try to keep it away from the ground. You do that to get two strikes. The next pitch, the next strike he had, he looked at a pitch up and he just missed it. He's probably going, that was the pitch, and then he ends up hitting that ground ball.
Hey, Dave, just what was missing with Landon today in that second inning?
I just felt today he wasn't sharp overall. Specifically, the secondary. I thought in that second inning there was a bad walk in there to Alvarez. You know, you get Taylor 0-2, and you hang a breaking ball for the double. And then right there, you know, we had an opportunity to minimize damage. And you get count leverage, you get Vientos 1-2, and you know, then he gets it to 3-2, and then you make a mistake with your heater, and then, you know, that was a big hit, clearly.
Was the plan to always go to him earlier in today's game?
It was the plan to go to him and, you know, take down the most outs today.
When that inning starts kind of going off the rails a little bit, like, do you consider going to one of the higher leverage guys at that point, or just with how things were set up today, were you trying to save them a little bit till later in the game?
Yeah, I really wasn't. I mean, I think in that situation, you still got to be able to finish the game, and you're talking about the second inning right there. And so you have a guy on the mound that has to eat up innings, and yeah, you go to anyone else, we're not going to be able to finish the game. So I think as far as kind of where we're at, it never feels good losing. But to feel that you've got your leverage guys ready to go for the next 3 games, I feel really good about that. So it was as least costly as it could be because of what Honeywell did, Banda, Henriquez did. And so that was certainly helpful. And, you know, offensively, we got a chance to see their guys, their leverage guys, and force some up downs. And I think that was beneficial too.
Can you go here to one in front?
Dave, kind of just curious, in that game against the Padres, you guys kind of went high leverage guy after high leverage guy and kind of saved Knack there for the end. Like, what was different about maybe this matchup or this particular game that you guys decided to go with Knack?
I think today what was different is we don't have Vesia. Hudson was down. And that's probably the biggest kind of impetus for having to, or knowing you're going to have to take some outs from Knack, or else you just can't finish the game.
And what you see out of Honeywell, and what role can he kind of play as a series?
He did exactly what we needed. He allowed us to kind of chew up some innings, keep us in the ball game. You know, he's just kind of a guy that we just trust. And so to be able to get left and right out, you know, those are innings that a guy like that gives us, that gives the best chance to win the following ensuing game. So it's not lost on anyone in that clubhouse what Honey did for us, and Henriquez as well.
Can you go to Bill on the left?
Dave, given that I know you said you have all your high leverage guys now available for the next game, but you have a day off tomorrow, you had a day off 2 days ago, you mostly had a bullpen day off yesterday. Why would you not go to those guys first, knowing this is October and, this is a time to step up?
You just can't. You're going to have, Knack was going to have to pitch at some point in time. So whether you get through, you have 4 high leverage guys available, right? You have to be able to kind of still finish 4 innings of a game or 3 innings of a game. And so you got to be able to get into the game at some point too. Again, we don't have Vesia. Hudson was down. So you got to get out somehow.
And then if you do need to run another bullpen game in game 6, would it be similar to today, or did you learn anything that might inform?
You know what? Honestly, Bill, I have no idea. Right now, just trying to process today, make sure that we learn from some of the things that we got to get better at. And then, we have Walker going tomorrow with a fresh, leveragey pen and focus on winning game 3.
Okay, Dylan.
Dave, what did you see from Ohtani tonight or today?
I thought he didn't look comfortable versus Manaea. The heater's away. You can see he was just kind of trying to keep the ball away from Shohei. That's what they're going to do. Shohei's very good with the ball close to him. So they're just going to, stay away, hard away. And if it's spin, it's going to be away. Just didn't feel comfortable. And then after that, I thought the righties that came in, they weren't about to give in too many. At least he took his walks.
I mean, given the fact, right, he's, I think, 0 for 19 now with the bases empty, right, and guessing guys on base, they have to challenge him a little bit more. Any thought into moving him down the order?
Not really. You know what, I think that, as far as on the offensive side, I think we've been pretty good offensively. I think the guys at the bottom have been doing a nice job of getting on base. And as far as moving them down, I just don't want to be too reactive. I don't really see the benefit. We got to just make sure that our guys are just still swinging the bat well. And quite frankly, I want Shohei to get 5 at-bats a game, so I think he's our best here, and I want him up there 5 times.
Far left, JP.
Hey, Dave. Is Gavin Lux okay? Was he healthy enough to play? Did the situation just not present itself?
He was not healthy enough to start, to run, to play defense. I had him ready for that DS spot in the 8th. I felt it was leverage enough for him to hit. Once they scored the extra run in the top half of the 9th, I just felt that I'm not gonna, risk putting Gavin in a little bit more harm's way. And so I felt Pages was the best option in that moment.
Ken?
Dave, the bullpen game worked so well, game 4, the DS. Does today demonstrate to you the difficulty of what you're trying to accomplish, the low margin for error?
It absolutely does. It all is great when it works well and guys are throwing up zeros, but, you're still facing really good ball clubs. And, there is a margin that you have to guard against and kind of really appreciate the cost of the next games and not forgetting that this isn't a winner-take-all game. It's not a 3-game series, so those are things that I have to be mindful of. Leverage, plus, minus. But yeah, I think that, you're right, Kenny, is, when you're on the margins and you lose a couple guys and guys aren't available, you got to figure out how to get out somehow.
Okay, we're going to take one more here. We'll go back to Jack in the front row.
Was Hudson just down because of rest or not?
He just had some things that he couldn't pitch today.
Anything concerning moving forward, or?
I don't think so. He should be, with 2 days, he should be ready to go for game 3.
Okay.
I'm looking for the Dodgers offensively to come through once again. They face a tough left-handed pitcher today, and Manaea did an outstanding job, especially keeping those left-handed batter, keeping them away from the bat, from getting on base, getting hits. Ohtani didn't look too good today. He was off, absolutely off. But they had to turn on the engine back in New York before they come back here.
I'm looking for Buehler to give him some length. Look, the bullpen game was a disaster today. It works sometimes here and there, but it's not a championship formula. starting pitching matters, and you have to have it. And it's a tall task, Kevin, to ask a cast of characters to piece together 9 innings when there's so much recourse at stake.
ここまで真正面から批判や質問をされるメジャーリーグの記者会見や番組は改めて恐ろしいとも思いました。普段から大谷翔平選手をはじめ日本人メジャーリーガーは称賛されることが多く見られますが、さすがの大谷選手もランナーなしの場面で19打数0安打の状況は打順の変更はしないのかと質問されていましたね。明日の移動日を挟み切り替えてなんとか1勝2勝挙げてまたロサンゼルスへ帰ってきてほしいと思います。皆さんは大谷翔平選手の打順は変更するべきだと思いますか？また変更するのであれば何番を打たせればいいと思いますか？ぜひコメント欄で教えてくださいね。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。さようなら。